Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in to check out your boy, P Fog. Thinking right out here in the lab. I'm in the book. We're about to wrap it up. We're getting closer and closer to the end. We're getting closer and closer to the new year. So we're right on point. Let's do what we do. I got a nice little lesson for you. Again, we're going to do karma and reincarnation and how purification of one heart. How to purify your heart. This is a good lesson. Personal, but again, I've done it before, but do it again because it's in the book. I'm going by the book, so let's go. Rightisms, 25 rules to live by. Storytelling, story with a message. There's a message in my stories for life. I give you life lessons. You tune in to receive them. I appreciate you. We got a good thing going. Let's do what we do, right? Excuse me. Excuse me. Right thinking mission is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinking way of life through mental and spiritual discipline. Practice daily will help and guide you to obtain your goal of reaching spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. My mission that all right thinkers know thyself. If you're a right thinker, your goal is to know thyself. Sound familiar? See where we're going with this? Let's get that together. So I asked the question, do you know you? You will when I get through. That's what I do. It's rhetorical, but if you know how to answer for yourself, tune in. I got you. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple, but you can teach them. That's why I do what I do for you. Appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believe and think that they know is dangerous. Avoid them. I do. A person who knows, but knows not that they know is spiritually asleep. I can awaken you. I'm the spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. That's what I do for you. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers, know thyself and to my God be true. Let's talk about again, right thinkers, karma and reincarnation. Then I'm gonna slide over to teach you a quick little paragraph on how to purification of one's heart. Let's talk about it. Good stuff. Karma, again, the word karma comes from the Indian philosophy of action. The equivalent to karmic term is Iri. In Egypt, we call it Iri. ARI or IRI. All right? It should be thought of as the total effort of a person's actions and their conduct during the successive phases of his or her life on earth. Our action is our karmic action. And phrase, you reap what you sow. If your karma action is good deed, you're blessed. If your karmic action ain't up to snuff, then you'll be dealt with accordingly. Excuse me. To the severity of your situation. And everybody's different. All right. But it's okay. So how does this effect operate? How do karma operate? Good question. All right. How do your past actions affect the present and even your future? Good question again. You ready? When you ask the question, you should be prepared for the answer. Now I'm going to give you the answer. If you consider your present lifetime, you will notice what? That your actions of the past have led you to where you are today in much the same way. Okay, yes, in much the same way. Watch this. The analogy is as a fruit tree. When you plant it today, will bear fruit what in a few years. That's a process. You can't change that. All right, but your experiences from the present life or from previous lifetimes, right there. What you mean previous lifetimes? Oh, your spirit has been around. Okay, it ain't new here. It's been around a while. Okay, and your previous lifetimes will cause what they call unconscious impressions in the mind, which stay with the individual soul even at the level of what we call the casual body, when next level is still on the mind. And in a deep unconscious level of the mind, when even after death, I mean, it carries over. Okay, the spirit carry memory. We've been talking about that before. But this unconscious impressions are what constitutes the emergent thoughts, desires, and aspirations of every individual, and they cause, right there, they cause the effect, the cause that you do, the future incarnations, because they impel the soul to continue on this journey of what? Seeking fulfillment of desires of the flesh that they'll never be able to satisfy. First of all, they don't know that, but that's the bottom line with that. So these impressions are not exactly like memories. However, they work like memories. What the hell? How could they be not exactly like memories, but they work like memories? I'm just reading it. So, okay, for example, if you had a fear in the previous lifetime, I know for a fact I either felt somewhere or I was locked up somewhere. Why? Because those two things that scares me to death. Don't know why, but I know I'm scared of that. Don't know why. Okay, previous lifetimes set that off. But, or watch this, or the childhood of your present lifetime, for you may not remember what caused you to have that fear, but you will remember that strange feeling you have when you come into contact with that certain object or certain people. You get that yeah. When I go to the house of wax, I freaks out. The blacks and wax, I go crazy. Why? I must have been slick. That just drives me crazy. It just does something for me. And these feelings are all caused by what they call your unconscious impressions, in which are coming up to the surface of your conscious mind at certain particular times. But it is this conglomerate of unconscious impressions which are judged. These are things that's judged at your judgment day. That's why the purpose of purifying the heart is important. But this was your judge, and that's in the heart of Maya. Scales, everybody, that's in the halls of Maya. Judgment. The determining, and wait a minute, at the halls of Maya, and determine where your soul will go next in the what? Your spiritual journey. The spirit is on a journey to go back home, but it's got to go through human experience to make it happen for itself. The person got to wake it up, and it's been going through person after person. The person died, spirit just go find another person. Person died, it's going on and on. It has memory. That's the concept. All right, watch this. So now, but your spiritual journey towards what? Evolution. One of two things going to happen. It's going to evolve to become one with God. But it's going to devolve, and also known as what? The cycle of birth and death, aka, yep, reincarnation. Your actions will dictate if you reincarnate. See where we're going with this? Yeah, man, the perfect system. Okay. All right, watch this. But reincarnation, as well as another human experience, and you will either have experience of heaven if it's pleasant, hell if it's unpleasant. Not a place, state of mind, state of being, simple. But the kicker is you don't want to be in a hell state of mind forever. That's not a good place to be, obviously. But some people going to have that. It's just simple as that. Why? That's what you causing yourself. In the following segment, I got a nice little paragraph here that tells you about that. The following segment from the ancient Egyptian master instructor Merkara. He explains his point this way. You know that they are not merciful. They meaning the judges at Judgment Day. And when they judge, you the miserable one, because you stand looking all the, yeah, why? Because all your actions that you accumulated has been set right there next to you. And your heart is going to be weighed with all that stuff. Is going to be heavy. So reincarnation is in the cards for you. But do not count on the passage of the years means nothing. Why? In time and space, time counts. In eternity and infinite, time don't mean nothing. Okay? Time and space means something when time and space. And there don't mean nothing. Okay? That's God's time. Remember, God's on his own time. They consider, watch this, a lifetime as a human as but an hour. We have years and years, and to them it's an hour. It's like nothing. Get to understand it, see the concept. So don't take yourself too serious. Why? Because you ain't but a blink of an eye. And after death, the Egyptians weren't consumed with death. They was consumed with what happens after death. Judgment of the what? Soul. Why? It don't die. The physical body is dead. The soul has to be judged to what? Decide to go get another body or it go home because it's enlightened. It knows itself. It's been a long time. It's been doing that since forever. Everybody got the concept. The Greeks got theirs. The Romans got theirs. Everybody got it. So we are the originators. But their whole thing was after death, there's a life after death with the spirit. That's eternity. That's with God. That's the casual body. With only the spirit goes there. The body stays here. That's what I say. Y'all tell me the body went to heaven, stop. We ain't gonna have that conversation. All right. But it says, after death, man remains in existence while his spirit got to be judged. Existence and his acts through life accumulate beside him or her. Life in the other world is eternal. That's where your spirit wants to go back to where it's coming from. That's eternal. It wants to go back, but it can't go back until it what? Get enlightened to know who it is. You can't go to eternity in the blind. You can't go there. Well, I don't know what am I doing here? How did I get here? It won't work that way. So you have to pass the test. And that eternal world. But he or she who arrives at judgment day without sin and be judged and the judge of before the judge of the dead. At judgment day, your life accumulations will be carried on by your heart and they're going to judge it. And he who passes sinless, stainless in their blemish in their actions on earth, living right, did the right thing, offered self-service, lived a good righteous life. What happened to them? He or she will be there and as a netter, and he or she will now be able to freely walk. He or she will walk freely, as do what? The masters of eternity. When you make it to the club, you become one of the boys or the girls, but you be there forever. That's the beautiful thing. The idea of knowing who you are forever. Because if you die physically, your consciousness, if it didn't connect itself to the spirit, will die also. It's called dying twice. All right? The worst thing the Egyptian wanted to do was to die twice. They didn't want that. They knew that meant they got to come back again. All right, here we go. Now, I just read you that little epitaph in my hat. But the reference above is to what? His acts that accumulated beside him. What that mean? That means to the unconscious impressions which are formed as the result of one's own actions, or WRIGHT, while what? While still alive. You're responsible for everything you say and do. Why? It's recorded right here. We got a built-in recorder. They knew that. All right. So these impressions can be either positive, heavenly, or negative, hellish. See where I'm going? See where I'm going with this? The concept. It can either be good, like a dream. If it's pleasant, yeah. If it's a nightmare, you trying to wake up. You trying to get up out of that thing fast as you could. See? Imagine being that dream world where it's hell. Every dream is a nightmare. That's not a good way to live for eternity. And remember, they play the eternal game. This ain't no. This is for real. Okay, so understand that. But again, with your positive impressions, that means you have developed through positive actions in one's life by living a righteous mayat, right there, big bold letters, and virtuous life. according to my philosophy. Held me accountable, 42 negative confessions, I became a better person. So I give them all mine to my yacht. You see me every day, I'm repping my yacht. Okay? This concept implies when you're living according to the precept of your mystical wisdom, aka Maya, or you're being a follower of what they call Haru, which is Shimshu Harus. We follow the philosophy of Isis, Aset, and Haru. These actions, which are yours, will do one of two things: draw you closer to harmony and peace within oneself, thus paving the way to self-discovery of what your higher self within yourself. See where we going with this? The negative, there we go, it's always got to be two sides. So the negative impressions are developed through what? Sinful actions while on earth, doing egotistical things, doing what you want, doing it where you want, that's serving yourself. And what happens? These things are related to, mental agitation, personal disharmony, and restlessness in oneself. You're not happy. You're not happy. To do something and regret doing it, that's not going to get you happy, but you got to be responsible for that. Karma don't give a damn about your happiness. This also implies acts that are all based on anger, fear, desire, greed, depression, gloom, etc. These are all Satanian egotistic qualities that you exhibit while you're here, and you have to be responsible for those actions. They got weight. They carry weight. The last thing the heart wants is what? Weight. Lighten the load. Purify the heart, lighten the load. See where I'm going with this? That's the concept of the ancients. And what happens? These actions draw one into what we call the outer world of human desires. You love things of the flesh. You love monetary things. You love this place. This is hell. This is the devil's domain. And if you love this, everything here is temporary. Nothing here is forever, except the spirit that's inside our bodies. Let's go. So these are things. Now, having these things, you have what they call a distracted mind. And it will not allow your true intellect to function at its best. Meaning you ain't really thinking right. Hello. I just lesson. If you ain't thinking right, you really ain't thinking. But they didn't like that one, so moving on. Thus, your existence at this level is closer. You ready? Oh, this is beautiful. At that level, you're closer to animal, being based on your animal instincts, your physical sexual desires of the body, the flesh. You are selfish, rather than to a spiritual, mature human being who are being based on reason, rational logic, selflessness, and compassion for others. The difference between an enlightened being and an unenlightened being is those two. One going to take care of himself, one is going to help others. Simple as that. Which one are you? The Good Samaritan. Y'all do it in the Bible. It's in there. I get that. I get the concept. This is the phrase that they show you for purification of one's heart. See the heart? This is the ab right here. To purify it, you have to cleanse it with righteous and virtuous actions. They call it the water. Okay, baptism, everybody do it with water. You see that? But purification of the heart. What does it mean? I'm wrapping up with this. How is it possible to eradicate your negative karmic impressions and how to develop positive ones? Study, proficient, sheedy, profoundly. Study the teachings. Implement what you learn. Meditate upon them. That's how you eradicate the negative karmic concept and replace it with positive ones. The answer lies in your daily practice of your spiritual disciplines, and collectively is known as right thinking philosophy or yoga. Hello. And when you study Shidi profoundly daily of the teachings, again, you study the teachings, you get them, you want to understand them, you want to have profound understanding of the teachings. That way they will work for you. And now you live according to them. Well, we're daily. Everything we do is daily. Your mind now what? Undergoes what? A transformation. Just like the caterpillar goes from a caterpillar to a butterfly, you go from ignorance to enlightened being. That makes you a different being, an enlightened being, an enlightened being while walking the earth. You know yourself. All at a whole nother level. This transformation must be had in order for what? Purification of the heart to transform, to have. So often spoken after what? Throughout the Egyptian book of Coming Forth by Day. This was the lessons of teaching how to purify one's heart with selfless actions, okay? Selfless service. It signifies an eradication of negative impressions. You have never heard me come here with a negative concept about myself. Don't put yourself down, ever. Okay? Always positive. Which renders your mind, what? Pure. When the mind is pure and clear, it's subtle. That means it can flow the way it's supposed to. Now you can think rational logic. But if it's agitated and you really flustered, you can't function under those circumstances. It's hard to do anything logic and rational when the mind is agitated. What the what? Okay, sorry about that. Okay, but when your mind is rendered subtle through daily meditation and less aggravation what's going on around you in the world, things you can't control, you don't worry about. And 1 second. Sorry about that. Your spiritual transformation is like the caterpillar going from a caterpillar to a butterfly. That's important. It's a perfect analogy because you will change. You will transform. You will become a different person. And it wipes out negative impression, which renders your mind pure and subtle. When your mind is rendered subtle, meaning at ease, comfortable through daily meditation, now your spiritual realization is possible, self-discovery. This spiritual discipline of what we call purifying the heart. By how? This is the answer. Living according to the teachings of Maya philosophy, and it is known as yoga of action, aka Maya, or I call it right thinking philosophy. Same thing. Okay, that's where it comes from. That's the lesson. I hope I made my point. Hope you got it, understood it. Now you should work on what? Purifying your heart. Lighten the load, lighten the load. All that unnecessary stuff, let it go. That's done through daily meditation. Flush it out, delete it, whatever you want to do with it. But don't carry useless information. Don't carry wasted feelings and ideas that don't serve you. That makes the burden on the heart. Lighten your heart. Get rid of the nonsense. Hope you enjoyed the lesson. Right things I got to go. But in closing, may you all live to be 100, me 100 miles a day. So I never know to my right thinkers who understand karma, reincarnation, and purification of the heart have passed away. I'll be right back with, do you know who the eternal witness is? You don't have to answer for yourself. I'll be right back with that one for you. I'm out.